Hello invisible friends. I thought it was high time I caught up on my accordion journal. I was up to a new one and I was so optimistic that I actually wrote February 25 on this, and now it's the middle of March. So without further ado, let us cover up the offending and wrong, offending and erroneous date. Bonk. There we go. Use a little thing I'll probably never use otherwise. And then we can write in March 25. And very quickly make an entry so that it's accurate and doesn't have to be covered up again. Do we have in here? Now I could write in between all of these, but I'm not going to. I'm going to recycle a bit of paper bag, which I love. I love using bits of paper bag. Something about brown paper. I like the feel of it, I like the way I can write on it, and I like recycling it. Much more satisfying than just throwing it in the recycle bin. Where's my cloth there? Okay, I'll put that there. Now while that dries, I will fill you in and remind myself what I have been doing, which is once a week going to an experimental watercolour class. And some of the things we've been playing with, we did some encaustic. Well, I didn't, but I did the preparation for the encaustic, which was to paint on different sorts of, move that out of the way, different sorts of thin papers. Somebody brought these into class. I should know what they're called. My mind has gone blank. This was on a piece of rice paper and it was a bit of a shock how the watercolour didn't really work on it. I was going to do a nest and egg themed thing, and I decided I didn't actually want to do the encaustic anyway, so I just mucked around with my paints. The rice paper really needed heavier application to get some colour. But one of the things that I learned, to my very happy surprise, was that this beautiful old Japanese paper takes watercolour. Like, this is old and worm-eaten, and look how beautifully it takes the watercolour. And it's so fine that it's as strong on both sides. So I'm really happy with these, and they will no doubt become very special pages like this in a journal. We have a lot of this because we're very lucky to have a Japanese importer of old Japanese goods just up the hill. So I have a lot of this lovely rice paper and a lot of these. So that'll be my watercolour playtime for the next little while. Now the other thing we've been playing with more recently is granulation, and using colours which do this amazing, what happens is the fine particles and the heavier particles of pigment separate, so you get all these rivulets. Now this is a mess. I was just trying to clean up my palette before I had to leave class, so I applied it very thickly on this block. And it was also a bit of a test because, to my dismay, all these nice watercolour blocks that I bought so long ago, and they're good paper so I haven't used them, we've had so many wet years in a row that they've lost their sizing and they behave more like blotting paper, which is why it just looks like it all sank in, and it did. You may be able to see it better on here, where I carefully wet the edges of these, but they still bled out because it's got no size, so no resistance. So instead of the watercolour sitting on top of the paper and you're able to manipulate it freely, like blotting paper, it just goes and soaks straight in and is much more painful to use. So on paper that behaves itself, fortunately not all the paper was hopeless. This is when the granulation works and the paints behave better, so I could lift and drip and do some more lifting and keep playing. I just love playing with watercolour like this. So I thought I might put this useless piece in here as a little page, because look, ta-da! What a good fit. Not quite sure how I want to do it now. What do I want to do? I want to attach it somehow. All right, I'll think about that. In the meantime, I actually found a recipe for resizing paper. You can apparently use gelatin, but I thought in our climate, applying a surface sizing of gelatin might be just as problematic as the original sizing. So here is a recipe from Liz Chatterton. You can get a thing called watercolour ground, which you can apply to any surface to make it absorbent enough to take the watercolour. It's pretty expensive, and you can use that to coat your paper, but here is a DIY recipe for watercolour ground. I love YouTube. By volume, 1 part modelling paste, 3 parts gesso, white gesso, and white modelling paste, or else you'll have a problem. So mix well. 3 thin layers. Use a roller. Equals no brush marks. Depends if maybe when I apply gesso I like the texture the brush marks give. Store in an airtight tub. Okay, so this is from Liz Chatterton on YouTube. Found, to my dismay, much of my good paper has lost its sizing, and now equals blotting paper. Nobody needs that. Maybe what happens if I put this I think I'm going to tear it in half. I think I'm going to cut it in half. This is very thick paper. So let's do this instead. Save the hands. Then I can have like a little book. And I might just attach that like a tuck. Why not? Let's do that. Weeks. Lost track of what I'm doing already. Okay. So that one's sealed on both edges and that one only on the one. So now I could pop something in there if I had something I wanted to add. These are too big. I don't want to put those in. Oh, what did I do with these ones? I might put a bit of this in to remind me of how well this goes. I don't even need to write then. I can just pop it in. Oh look, even the colours work. Look at this sparkling. This is a paint called Amethyst Genuine by Daniel Smith. And I didn't even realise it sparkled. I looked at all my paintings this morning and went, oh. Okay, oh look, that's lifted up already. I might need to press this onto something. And I'll find something to pop in there later. Oh, hang on a minute. Ta-da! Let's have a bookmark. Okay, when in doubt, add a bookmark. So there, yay, I've done an entry for March. And away we go. How long will it take me to finish this one? Who knows? See you next time. Bye.